Hello, my name is Mark Halbig. I am a behavior support specialist with the Albuquerque Public Schools. Today's short video is setting student Google Meet expectations. So to go along with this video, we have these guided questions. So please pause, reflect on these personally. These are designed to be collaborative, small group discussion questions. It's easier to create and establish these ideas when you work with a group. So, what are some tips for establishing expectations with students? To me, the most important is the first one, that students have a say in establishing the expectations. You'll get more buy-in, and it's less about me telling you what to do, as this is just something we expect from everyone. Students also like to have a rationale. They like to know why. They want to know, how does this relate to what the real world's like? So if we provide those real world examples, it can help with student buy-in. We'll need to teach and model. And so modeling our own behavior is one of the most effective tools we have. Rehearse this with students and reinforce. I'll give you an example of this later. Accepting what we can and can't control, especially in this online environment. We've lost so many of those external controls that we're used to having at school. So one, we need to accept that. And how do we work within the lack of control? And so one of those is establishing these expectations with the students, if they're agreeing to this. And a broad template. I use respectful and responsible behavior as kind of my template. Some schools use like a CHAMPS protocol. But having this broad template has everything break apart from this template as opposed to 20 what looks like individual rules. So one expectation is environmental expectations. And so I've given this little checklist for students. Are they in the most private location possible? Who or what's behind them? Do they know how to use blur background? And this is one where I can model it for them. So I'm going to bring my camera back up. And you can see I have the blank wall behind me. Now I'm in a back bedroom. There's much more to this, but I can show them with my camera the setup. I've got a desk pulled away from the wall. I've limited the distractions that behind me. Whoever else is in the house is working in a separate area of the house. And so that's where modeling can come in. Some students may want to have their pets. Remember that lack of control. You're going to have to pick your battles. But maybe you designate a couple minutes in the Google Meet where students can bring their pets on the camera. And then the rest of the time is about learning. We want students to be comfortable, but not so comfy that they fall asleep. So for example, elementary, maybe they allow students to lay around a little bit more. Maybe secondary has a different expectation. Consider what you used to do in class and what should the expectation be now. We do need to consider student home environments when setting these expectations. And that's where teaching them something like blur background can come in and be helpful. So just take this into consideration. So here are some examples of student expectations. So we see the respectful and responsible behaviors. So one thing I would emphasize is that this is about respecting your classmates' learning and their time. We're all in a difficult situation, but this isn't about me saying you have to do this. But your classmates are here for a reason, and let's be respectful of their time. And I want to try and guide students towards these different expectations. Even if I'm giving them some say, I can still use some guiding questions to get them there. When and how to disagree. Is in the middle of a student meet with 20 other people at the time? Can we have a breakout room? Can we meet afterwards? Can you please send me an email? What's the expectation during the Google Meet? Responsible behaviors. You see a little checklist that we could use as ideas. But one is, how do we respond in certain situations? If a student is bombing our meet, what's our class protocol? If I've taught this, we've practiced it, and I've reinforced this before it occurs, or maybe after the first time it occurs, then we're prepared moving forward. So One online tool I would use is Jamboard. I could use, you see my Jamboard with the post-it question. What does respectful student behavior look like? I get student ideas. And again, I explain the rationale. This is about the class making a deal, not me telling you what you have to do or can't do. I'm going to teach, rehearse, and reinforce this. How do we reinforce virtually? Maybe we have a point system where for certain positive behavior, students earn points. Behavior-specific praise, acknowledging what the students are doing well. It's easy to get distracted by what they're not doing well, but what are they doing well? Real-world examples. Think of how COVID has changed our expectations. One is mask use. Yes, it's been mandated, but police aren't writing tickets necessarily for it. Instead, it's an expectation that's tried to be established. They're trying to make it a norm. And by businesses establishing that expectation and what to be wearing out in public. So using those real world expectations, especially what we're experiencing with COVID, is a good way to address this. So for a final task, think about a behavior you'd like to see improvement on, create a plan to change the expectation. I recommend working on these plans with groups. You'll get some more diverse ideas. Please subscribe to our channel. If there's any particular content you'd like to see, please let us know. You can also email us. Thank you for your time. Have a good day. Good luck in all your teaching.